Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
All right, I'm going to make some predictions for Week 12 in NFL. Before I go any further, I'm going to talk about the playoff bubble. I'm just going to mention the 6 teams that are in each conference. And that's pretty much it. But the AFC got the number 1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson's looking pretty good. He's an MVP candidate, and it wouldn't surprise me if you want it. You got the New England Patriots in 2nd, you got the Kansas City Chiefs in 3rd, and the Indianapolis Colts in 4th, who have a big-time game this following Thursday night against the Houston Texans. The winner of that game will claim the number 1 spot in the AFC South and get the Bills and the last wildcard team. But yeah, and you got the NFC, you got San Francisco 49ers, who quite frankly is the most impressive team in the last decade because they went from the 2nd worst team in the NFL last year to one of the best. There goes that. But you got New Orleans Saints in 2nd. You got the Green Bay Packers in 3rd. Green Bay Packers play this following Sunday night against the San Francisco 49ers. That game will determine who will get the higher seed when it comes down to playoff talk. You got the Dallas Cowboys in 4th. Those are your conference leaders. Then you get the Seattle Seahawks, the first team out that's in a wild card spot. They can win their conference. They're a game behind. You get the Minnesota Vikings, who's in the last wild card spot, who had a sluggish start against the Denver Broncos, but bounced back from 20 points to win it. But Seattle, I think they can beat San Francisco back-to-back times, and 2 times in 1 year, especially with the San Francisco team they got. That's going to get really interesting. But before I go any further with that, we'll talk about that later on. We'll make some predictions. Thursday Night Football, like I said, you get the Houston Texans playing the Indianapolis Colts. The winner of that game will claim the number 1 spot in the AFC South. I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts on the road winning because they looked really impressive this past week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Houston's coming off a blowout loss from the Baltimore Ravens, so it's a no-brainer there. Then you got the Oakland Raiders at the New York Jets this week. This is a no-brainer, but a couple weeks ago, Sam Darnold mentioned that when they beat the New York Giants, that they were in the playoff contention. And I hate to break it to Sam Darnold, but they're not. They're going to lose this week to Oakland, and they're going to get eliminated from the hunt and be irrelevant. Then you got the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. I think Carolina's going down because after a blowout loss to Atlanta, if you lose to Atlanta, you're just terrible. But New Orleans lost to them too, but I think New Orleans wins by a ton. We had the Detroit Lions at the Washington Redskins. I think Washington loses at home to Detroit, and Detroit gets their 4th win of the season. You have the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. I think Cleveland will win. Jarvis Landry will have a big time game against his former team. And yeah, and you get the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The loser is last place in the NFC South. So I think it's going to be Tampa Bay because Atlanta's starting to come on. But that's where we get Seattle Seahawks at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Seattle wins. It's going to be a good game, though. Yeah, all right. The next game, you get Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Pittsburgh comes back with a lot of heat and emotion after that Browns game. I think they win by a lot. Then we get the New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears win by a lot. This game's not going to be relatively close, but we'll see. You get the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. Denver's offense showed lots of good signs, bright future against Minnesota. It might carry over to Buffalo. They might get them a fight. I think Buffalo edges them out. And then you got the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is really crucial for both teams because as Jacksonville loses this game, their playoff hopes are just getting smaller. Their chances are getting smaller. But if Tennessee wins this game, their chances go up. But if they lose, it gets narrow. I take the Titans winning at home. They getting revenge from the early loss of the year to them. You got the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys. This is one of the best games on next week, but Sunday night it is. But I think New England wins this game. But at the same time, you can't really count out Dallas because Dallas is in a must-win situation. Because if they lose this game, Philly wins next week. Philly's tied up with Dallas. This is interesting, though. I take Patriots, but not by a lot. But you got Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's the game of the week. It's going to be a shootout. Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Garoppolo. It's going to be really interesting, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo gets defeated by Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would claim the #1 seed. But, yeah, in Monday Night Football, he's going to have a little interesting battle here. You're going to have Jared Goff versus Lamar Jackson. And my phone's on 20%. But you're going to have them two face off. I think Jared Goff pulls this one off with the Rams. I think the Rams get their 6th win of the season and bringing some momentum possibly for a playoff run. But those are my predictions for Week 12. A lot of things going on in the league, but I'm really eyeballing the Dallas and New England game because if Dallas wins that game, it solidifies them as a playoff team. Because if they win that game, they will be just 2 wins above Philly. And if Philly were to lose this next week by the Seahawks, which I think they will, that make them even further behind. And Dallas got the head-to-head win against the Eagles. So this game is a must win for Dallas. What do y'all think down below? Y'all comment down. And please like and subscribe. And if you want to see a vlog, I'm going to do one. I might do one because I'm going to the Saints and Titans game in a couple weeks. If y'all want to see it, comment down below, say yes. But please like and subscribe.